Okay, so this is going to be a few different statements. We have Shanda's sister, very interesting. A few people Shanda works with, her ex-husband Eric's dad, so Timothy and Paul's grandpa. I think that's all, but that's, there's a few of her workers. So it's pretty interesting. The first one is really interesting, what her sister has to say about Shanda's history. If you haven't heard it yet and you're following this case, definitely have to listen. Paige contacted me via text to provide information regarding Shanda. Paige told me she is Shanda's biological sister. Paige told me she and Shanda were in foster care in Alabama for about 2 years when they were between the ages of 6 and 9. Paige advised during their time in foster care, Paige and Shanda were physically abused. The physical abuse consisted of starvation, given small bites of bread, sips of water or milk, placed in ice baths, and beaten with clothes hangers and or ping pong paddles. See what I'm saying, guys? You know, everybody gets mad because they say when I try to understand people, oh, you're giving them an excuse. But this stuff is important to understand. Like, makes sense. It's not giving them an excuse, but this makes a lot of sense that a lot of people repeat the cycle, you know, and a lot of people break the cycle. So, you know, some people are like, well, not everybody does it. You have a choice. I get that. But there is a lot of repeating cycle. A lot of people can't repeat it and they can't break it. And a lot of people do break it. You know, you have both sides here. She didn't break it. She's doing the same freaking stuff as when she was a kid. It's not that unheard of. If you go back to parents doing this to their kids, usually they were done the same thing to them as kids. So I don't mean to be getting an attitude, but I'm like always nervous to talk about it because people get on me like I'm giving an excuse. And no, I just try to understand it. That's all. But wow. Okay. We're learning a lot from these documents. Dang it. So Paige advised Shanda was always the favored sibling and could do no wrong through the eyes of the family. Paige advised Shanda is self-entitled, controlling, and possibly a sociopath. Paige advised after the passing of their mother, Shanda began having a sexual relationship with their stepfather, who put Shanda on birth control. Bam! That explains her sexual crap. Dang it. It's almost too predictable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, holy crap, but it's like, that is so predictable now. Like, now that we know that, okay, dang it. Classic. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's sad and it sucks. And I hate that people go through it. Some people are able to break the cycle and some people aren't. And unfortunately, she was not. And she had a choice. I'm not giving her an excuse. I'm just, wow, man. So wait, she says they were in foster care, but then, so this is almost like the same situation. So look, 6 to 9, they were in foster care. So before that, they were probably, you know, with their parents, right? Something happened, maybe custody, going to foster care, then they take them back, and then she's back with her parents. It's like almost like the same situation. And that's kind of unique where I don't hear that a lot, where you have custody, then you lose custody, then you get them back, and it's just, I don't know, it's weird. Like that it's not just like they're in the foster care and they lose it. It's like they come back to the family again. Anyway, this is crazy. So, wow, she had a sexual relationship with her stepfather. Okay, Paige advised when she was a teenager and about 16 weeks pregnant, Shanda intentionally struck Paige in the abdomen. Shanda was upset Paige was pregnant out of wedlock and pregnant before Shanda. This incident occurred in South Carolina. Paige advised she was taken to an ER in South Carolina after the incident for abdominal pain. Paige advised she miscarried the child at 23 weeks. Dude, she should be freaking in trouble for murder for that crap. Dang it. Did she say she was the older sibling or, hold on. It doesn't say if she was older or younger, right? Hold on. Did I miss that? Shanda intentionally struck Paige, who was pregnant out of wedlock. Incident occurred. I don't know. I'm just curious because I want to know how old she was when she did it. The same Paige was a teenager. So Paige advised she miscarried at 23 weeks. Paige advised when she was pregnant with her second child, Shanda attempted to assault Paige, but Paige's husband intervened. Paige advised the last time she spoke to Shanda was in 2000. Paige advised she learned of Shanda and Paul's arrest about a week ago. Dude, Shanda is like, ugh. She is a monster. A freaking monster, man. I mean, you would think, like, it's like when you can't think that somebody would get worse. It's almost like she took what was done to her and increased it by 1,000 and became like even more of a monster. This is disgusting. Okay, thank you. She'd have been at 19. Okay. I was contacted by Glenn Glenn advised me he's the maternal grandparent of Timothy. So that means, wait, maternal grandparent? Wouldn't that be the paternal grandparent? I am so confused. No, this is Eric's dad. Eric's father, Ferguson. Her maiden name's Ramsey. Okay, it's just a typo. Later on, you see a couple sentences down, it does say that he is the paternal grandfather. So they just made a mistake. A lot of times there is typos in these documents. I know some people are like surprised to think that because it's like, oh, this is an official court document or police document or whatever, police report. But there's just as many typos and wrong information in these than anything else. It's crazy. Trust me. I mean, I know because I go through these for my channel a lot and there's always typos and stuff like that. Okay, let's read. Glenn advised he believes his son Eric, Timothy's father, may not have been honest with NSPD investigators regarding Timothy. So, this is the grandparent says, so remember, this is Timothy's dad's dad. Glenn stated he resides in North Carolina. He's the paternal grandfather of Timothy, Paul, Nolan, and Millie. He and his wife would visit their grandchildren once a year in Oklahoma. Timothy and Paul were heavily medicated with ADHD medications by Shanda and Eric. The heavy medication continued even after Shanda's parental rights were removed. At some point, Timothy was placed in a facility for an unknown period of time. Shanda tried to keep the kids in their bedrooms by placing monitors in the hallway. So even then, it sounds like even when her and Eric were together, she did the same crap. And who's the controlling one? I mean, maybe Eric was too, but dang it, you're definitely, ugh. He did not observe any forms of discipline. Nolan came to live with him when he something due to sexual misconduct between blank and blank. So wait, came to live with him when I don't know. And I wonder if that's Paul and Timothy, the sexual misconduct. Anyway, all kids were removed from the home in Oklahoma after Shanda and Eric divorced. Wait, let's think about this. You have that essay charge. It does sound like when we did it, I do think she moved out around that same time, so it does sound like maybe they lost rights. Remember how they were, like, it seems like they both did, and somehow he was able to keep them, but rights of the kids around that time. So it probably did have something to do with that essay charge against Paul, plus other things, I'm sure. But it makes me wonder why it was her that lost the rights. So that makes sense, because I wonder because if it would have came out, they probably would have charged her with it. But what I'm saying is I'm wondering if Paul opened up about maybe his mom doing the same thing to him or something, because why did she lose the rights and the dad didn't? You know, does it have something to do with that? But then, like I said, if it does, then why wouldn't she have been charged? So I don't know. I just wonder, maybe he hasn't opened up about it. It just makes me wonder when he was going through that, when he did it, when he was young, I'm sure he went through therapy. I wonder if he came out and said anything about what started that. Anyway, so Eric eventually obtained full custody of the children. Shanda only had supervised visitation rights of the children. He heard Shanda had previously brought... Dang. Well, when you think she can't get any worse, guys, look what she brought in. Are you kidding me? She brought it into the home and had shown it to the children. Remember this. When she was living with Eric, all the children were younger. That was back years ago. So they were all young kids. I mean, regardless, you don't watch that with your children, but like they're like young kids and you're bringing it into the home. The last time he had seen Timothy was in the summer of 2021. He appeared to be a healthy weight. Eric sent Timothy to live with Shanda, even though Shanda was not supposed to have contact with him. Okay, so we're going to move on to Shanda's coworkers. I spoke to a subject named Nicole over the phone. She wanted to report some information that she had in regards to this case. Nicole informed me that she worked with Shanda at the New County courts. She explained that she had numerous problems with Shanda because she was not professional while she was working. Nicole had observed that Shanda was always on her phone or laptop while she was supposed to be doing her work while court was in session. Wow. It appeared to her at the time that Shanda was doing too much personal business on her cell phone and when she was supposed to be working. Nicole wanted to report that she had only been told by a coworker that Shanda had been on her phone because she was monitoring her children who were at home through a camera surveillance system that was connected to her phone. The coworker also explained to Nicole that he or she had overheard Shanda yelling at her children over the phone whenever she saw them leaving their room.
Nicole pointed out that this would occur in the middle of the day. I asked Nicole to provide me with the name of the coworker that she had given her the information about Shanda yelling at her children for leaving the rooms. She told me that the coworker did not want his or her name mentioned. Nicole would not give me the name of the coworker for that reason. I received a phone call from Keith regarding information pertaining to Shanda and her 4 children. Keith advised he attended law school with Shanda between 2018 and 2019. Keith advised he did not know Shanda well, but recalled Shanda was mean and would bully other students. Keith advised Shanda was declined a position as a student mentor based on her negative attitude toward other students. Keith advised he recalls other students talking about Shanda's extreme religious and political views. Keith also advised there would be arguments within the school about Shanda's use of her service dog. Keith advised he and other colleagues became curious after learning of Shanda's arrest and located an article from Washington Post talking about relevant punishments. The article mentions Falwell's, presumably Jerry Falwell, founder of Liberty University, where Shanda did her undergraduate studies. The article mentions the use of hot sauce as a tool for punishing children that misbehave. The article was posted on August 1st, 2004. Oh, thanks for joining, Teresa. Keith advised a former law school classmate who did not wish to be identified also located a blog post on celiac.com from a subject whose profile name was blank. This subject stated that she and her 4 children were celiacs and was aggressively disputing a post from another blogger. This post was created on 3/17/2008. According to the anonymous resource, blank is the same username Shanda used on Instagram, Cash App, and 2 Twitter accounts. Keith sent me the links for the Instagram and Twitter account, and I was able to verify the correlation between blank and Shanda. So they're thinking that's who they were arguing with. When questioned about health and medical history, Shanda does not state blank or any other family members were diagnosed with celiac disease or gluten intolerances. I advised Keith I would document his statements and contact him if I had additional questions. So that was 7/11. I spoke to Michelle regarding information on Shanda. Michelle worked with Shanda at the county courthouse. Shanda always referred to Paul as the 20-year-old. I swear. I wonder what this is. Right here. What they redacted. Shanda stated the 20-year-old was really stepping up to take care of the Timothy, but I don't know what she's calling him. I'm sure it's something mean. It's the something. So we know she called Paul the 20-year-old. She calls G by his name, and then she calls Timothy the something. I don't know. Maybe the 15-year-old? I have no idea. I have a feeling it's something. It's worse than that. It's something mean because the way she treated him. Shanda stated she was giving the 20-year-old a lot of credit. Shanda always had an iPad up in her office to watch her kids while they were at home. Michelle stated she never got a good look at who Shanda was watching, but it looked like the child was bigger than Gabriel. Michelle stated she met Timothy and Paul once Michelle would hear Shanda. Wait, that's crazy though. So that she had this stuff up at work and they're like abusing, like nobody bothered to look, or you think she would have been scared for somebody to see what they were doing to this kid. Oh man. Michelle stated she had met G and Paul once. Michelle would hear Shanda communicating via the iPad with a child. Shanda would speak into the pad, "No, you can't more food. You already have what's provided to you. And no, you can't leave your room." Shanda always knew when the kids were moving around in the house by watching the iPad. Michelle heard Shanda tell the kids they couldn't be out of their rooms at the same time. Michelle stated G was the only child she referred to by name. Michelle's dog sat for Shanda at Michelle's house from 10/4 to 10/7 as Shanda was going out of town to a wedding. Shanda told Michelle everyone in the house was going to the wedding except, and it's Timothy again, but it's the whatever she calls him. Wonder if they kept Timothy there all by herself. Remember we were talking about that wedding, the wedding that they went to, right? It was her oldest son's, right? And we were like, wonder if Timothy, so I think she did keep Timothy there all by himself, huh? How would she trust him to be there all by himself though? You know what I'm saying? If he's really that bad, he would have caught the freaking house on fire or something. Or did she have him in, like, handcuffs the whole time? Anyway, Michelle stated Shanda would make comments like, "Does anyone want a blank?" Michelle assumed this was a question stemming from a parent of a typical teenager.
I received a text from Trisha regarding Shanda VanderArk. Trisha stated she worked with Shanda at the county courthouse. Trisha stated she knew Shanda had surveillance cameras in her house to monitor the kids.
Shanda referred to blank the middle child, a problem child. Shanda told Trisha the middle child was being punished one day by standing out in the cold. Shanda told Trisha he was wearing a coat and was not out there for long. After Trisha questioned her about it, as it was cold outside, Shanda told Trisha she was going to put locks on the kitchen cabinets because middle child was eating things he was not supposed to. Shanda told Trisha on one occasion that the middle child kept her up all night by getting up and setting off the alarm notification on her phone. Shanda told Trisha his punishment for this would be to stand up all night with his nose against the wall.
I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm going in circles, going in circles. I should get away from here. There's a better place for me, better place for me. Trying to play my symphony, but there's so much noise around, so much noise around. Constantly fighting for space. I need to clear my mind, need to clear my mind. I wanna be empty, be empty, be empty. A sparkle lights a fire, I'm high, I'm a butterfly, a blooming flower, but I am thirsty. A drop of water and another drop of water. Sunlight, I'll soon be rising. I'm a butterfly. How am I supposed to see? If I am in darkness, I am in darkness. Constantly restless worry. I got a gun to my head, a gun to my head. I got a gun to my head, a gun to my head. I got a gun to my head, a gun to my head. I wanna be empty, be empty, be empty. A sparkle lights a fire, I'm high, I'm a butterfly, a blooming flower, but I am thirsty. A drop of water and another drop of water. Sunlight, I'll soon be rising. I'm a butterfly. There's a better place for me.